Ventidius. He thought of Ventidius because he had once got Ventidius out of prison by paying a creditor of this young man. Ventidius was now rich. Timon trusted in his gratitude. But not for all, so much did he owe. Servants were dispatched with requests for loans of money to several friends. One servant, Flaminius, went to Lucullus. When he was announced, Lucullus said, "A gift, I warrant. I dreamt of a silver jug and basin last night." Then, changing his tone, "How is that honourable, free-hearted, perfect gentleman, your master?" "Well in health, sir," replied Flaminius. "And what have you got there under your cloak?" asked Lucullus jovially. "Faith, sir, nothing but an empty box, which on my master's behalf I beg you to fill with money, sir." "La, la, la," said Lucullus, who couldn't pretend to mean ha, ha, ha. "Your master's one fault is that he's too fond of giving parties. I've warned him that it was expensive. Now look here, Flaminius, you know this is no time to lend money without security, so suppose you act like a good boy and tell him that I wasn't at home. Here's 3 coins for yourself." "Back, wretched money," cried Flaminius, "to him who worships you." Others of Timon's friends were tried and found stingy. Among them was Sempronius. "Has he asked Ventidius?" he said. "Ventidius is beholden to him." He refused. "Well, have you asked Lucullus?" He refused. "A poor compliment to apply to me last of all," said Sempronius in affected anger. "If he had sent to me at first, I would gladly have lent him money, but I'm not going to be such a fool as to lend him money now." When Timon found that his friends were so mean, he took advantage of a lull in his storm of creditors to invite Ventidius and company to a banquet. Flavius was horrified, but Ventidius and company were not in the least ashamed, and they assembled accordingly in Timon's house and said to one another that their princely host had been jesting with them. "I had to put off an important engagement in order to come here," said Lucullus. "But who could refuse Timon? It was a real grief to me to be without ready money when he asked for some," said Sempronius. The same here, chimed in a third lord. Timon now appeared, and his guests vied with one another in apologies and compliments. Inwardly sneering, Timon was gracious to them all. In the banqueting ball was a table resplendent with covered dishes. Mouths watered. These summer friends loved good food. "Be seated, worthy friends," said Timon. He then prayed aloud to the gods of Greece. "Give each man enough," he said, "for if you, who are our gods, were to borrow of men, they would cease to adore you. Let men love the joint more than the host. Let every score of guests contain 20 villains. Bless my friends as much as they have blessed me. Uncover the dishes, dogs and lap." The hungry lords were too much surprised by this speech to resent it. They thought Timon was unwell, and although he had called them dogs, they uncovered the dishes. There was nothing in them but warm water. "May you never see a better feast," wished Timon. "I wash off the flatteries with which you plastered me, and sprinkle you with your villainy." With these words he threw the water into his guests' faces, and then he pelted them with the dishes. Having thus ended the banquet, he went into an outhouse, seized a spade, and quitted Athens forever. His next dwelling was a cave near the sea. Of all his friends, the only one who hadn't refused him aid was a handsome soldier named Alcibiades, and he hadn't been asked because, having quarrelled with the government of Athens, he had left that town. The thought that Alcibiades might have proved a true friend didn't soften Timon's bitter feelings. He was too weak-minded to discern the fact that good can't be far from evil in this mixed world. He determined to see nothing better in all mankind than the ingratitude of Ventidius and the meanness of Lucullus. He became a vegetarian and talked pages to himself as he dug in the earth for food. One day